All right, hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Brainwashed To Be Broke series. Today's guest is a really interesting person. I just found out that his generations come from literally the same country that I came from. Probably we don't. There is no backup anything like that. But either way, I'm super excited to have him here. We're gonna be having a real interesting conversation about brainwashing. This is the whole point of what we are doing here. We're trying to make the world better place. Trying to help people to realize what is going on with what is happening outside these days, like how everything, like most of the things are pretty much corrupted and so crazy to me. So I'm super pumped to have him here. Welcome to the show, Chad Ogsted.
Yeah, there you go. Crushed it. Hey,
Awesome.
thanks for having me, man.
Amazing. All right, so thank you so much for being here again, and let's dive right in. So, for those who don't know you and don't know what you do and so on, so let's give us a little bit of, what who are you actually and what do you do, and then like let's dive into those brainwashing stories and so on, what is going on, what you can see in your area of expertise.
Yeah, so investor, business strategist, dad, a husband, that's those are the main things. I guess in real estate investing, I'm a minority partner in a medical company. I've been in internet marketing for since 2012, 11,
Nice,
somewhere in that
nice.
range. A lot of background in sales and marketing, ran sales offices, um, had real estate, lost real estate way back in the day. Um, you know, I've knocked probably 100,000 doors in my life,
Wow.
door-to-door sales.
Whew. Okay, that
Yeah,
that
I literally
that
I have
yeah.
scars on my knuckles
Yeah,
from
I can
knocking doors.
imagine. That's tough. That's super
Hmm.
tough. Like doing, oh my gosh, door to doors. Like I'm so glad that I don't, like, there are different opportunity ways how you can actually learn that skill than literally doing door to doors, because like it's not traditional in our country, right? It's like, oh, not even in UK that much. I think it's really traditional in US, and there are, like, when people are, for example, when it comes to religious, there are people who are literally having this in like a what is it called, like a
Uh,
challenge or some type of, like, I don't know exactly what you are
Yeah,
religious, I mean,
Mormons
yeah,
and
Mormons, there you go, yeah,
Jehovah Witnesses both do that. I,
yeah.
I know I have friends that were Mormon that would go to the UK and that's what they would do. And it's funny is because it's like I remember hearing a Mormon talk once where he's like, yeah, somebody was interested and they were like thrown off by it and they didn't know what to say because they're like that they were in,
Yeah,
they're just so used to saying like go away or like I'm not
yeah.
interested or whatever.
Oh,
When
so
somebody
they
was
say something
actually
different.
yeah, somebody was actually interested, like, well, I never been here before, which is hilarious.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
yeah.
that's awesome.
But yeah, it's I guess I didn't realize how if it's not common there, but I mean, I've knocked lots of doors. I did it for since from like 2005 to 2000, like, well, off and on from like to like 2017. I haven't knocked any doors, and what are we at? 8 years now, but yeah,
Yeah, but for sure it was heavy, heavy experience for you. Like that would actually shape you to the person
amazing.
who you are, because like this is the, I think this is the most like important and brutal way of learning, like, and self-development actually, because you have to trust yourself to be successful. Like literally you have to be so confident in yourself,
Yeah.
because if you're not, it's not gonna work.
Well, I think it got me to be really quick on my feet
Mm-hmm.
and be able to connect with people quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And being able to adjust
Hmm.
and keep moving, right? Because
Yep.
it's like, okay, I would do one thing and that didn't work. And like it taught me to be kind of unconventional.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
I remember going to doors and I had a couple funny stories. One was like my whole pitch was just weird in the sense is I would always come to the door and ask them what they liked most about their current cable. And that always threw people off because that was one of the big things I sold was fiber TV essentially.
Uh-huh. Yep. Yep.
And so like when I asked them like what they liked most about their thing, they were like, aren't you supposed to like tell me why I shouldn't like this thing? And that was never a good approach because people want to like resist change and like resist the fight. And like if I came at it in a way that I'm like, what do you like most about that thing? Then they would tell me and I'd be like, oh, and 9 out of 10 times it was always a specific channel that they
Uh-huh.
had
Uh-huh.
or it would be their DVR. That people love DVRs of being back in the day that you could record the thing, and that was before really streaming. I couldn't imagine trying to do that now. But the big thing was is all I had to do is tell them like, well, we could actually probably do it cheaper, and then you actually get a better of that thing that you already want, already like, and then they're like, oh, well, that totally makes sense. So come on in, like easy.
Yeah. 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 So what was your continuing like the story? What did you
Oh, the
after
other
doing that?
one?
Yeah.
Oh, the
Yeah.
other one is it's a little dicey. Yeah, I don't know if you could cut this out if it's offensive too much. But I go to this door and it was in what's called the Villages, which the Villages is a
Uh-huh.
hilarious spot if you've ever researched it. It is a 55 plus community in the US and it's
Uh-huh.
known for its swinger parties where you would drive your golf cart to another
Yeah.
house and you'd bring a loofah and they would put their keys in a thing in a what do you call it like like a what do you call it like a bowl, right?
Okay.
And then like the bowl, like you would pull the keys out, your key, and then like the other keys, and then whoever keys you pulled out, that you would go home with that person.
Ah.
So that's a little background about this place, yeah. And so it's a really
Oh.
weird place, but I met this lady and she was like barely old and I not like that, not like that. But I met a lady, she was barely kind of old enough to be in there and I knocked the
Yeah.
door and I was like and she wouldn't even open the door for me. And I go, you, is it because I'm black? And she goes, what? You're not. And then, like, she got like offended and or not offended, but like, it was
Shit.
like she got like I like threw her completely off because she like went from
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
trying to like get me to go away to like I'm not racist basically like I like defending herself that
Yeah.
she wasn't racist even though I know obviously not black but like it literally got her to open the door
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then she invited me in and then I sold her and it was like
That's
it just
awesome, dude. Like that's insane.
yeah. So that was,
Oh man, oh
sometimes you
my god.
gotta throw people off their game, like off their like
And
break their pattern.
you've been already in the sales right before, so you knew what you're doing. That's crazy, bro. Holy
I know.
smokes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's awesome. That's awesome. Like, what type of stories, like, like like, you never take this out from you, like this has to be fun. Like,
Yeah.
the life is just one. And like doing this type of thing, it's just, this is just, this is a part of having amazing life. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
this is it. Yeah, like, even if I think about like what type of crap we've been doing when we've been, literally like growing up or so on, like, oh my gosh, like now when like the way that people try to be like, or they program us basically is like, when you become an adult, you have to be, you have to behave some way. So it's
Hmm.
like, and it's like, this is not actually like what attracts people. to you. You are not showing your true potential, who you are, and this
Yeah,
is like.
it's inauthentic. People are they basically tell you to be successful, you have to be inauthentic. And it's not true, right? It's not true. And so that's kind of like and you gotta like start from the beginning. It's like
Mhm,
I have to constantly. I have a business partner in the real estate stuff, and he,
mhm,
we're kind of like we're partners in some situations.
mhm,
He has connections with buyers, but like it's like the mentality for him is like I've just got started, so I have to like work
mhm,
my way up, and I can't make
mhm,
too much money on these deals, and because I'm not making a ton of money right now, I can't make a bunch of money on this deal.
mhm,
And so I have to keep on breaking his pattern of like, no,
mhm,
man, like if you're bringing something of value,
mhm,
you should be compensated well for these
yeah,
deals
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
because it's like if like you can't be afraid to like because you're if you this is like I think a really good thing is if you have a lot of lead flow,
Mhm,
you can charge and you can do so much more. Like you have
mhm,
much more
yep, yep,
flexibility because you cannot give a fuck,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
When
yeah,
you are scared and to lose a deal,
yeah.
then you have to be concerned on like,
Mm,
oh, did I say the wrong thing? Did
yeah,
I charge too much? Did I did other things?
yeah,
But
yeah.
when you have the lead flow and you have like a bunch of numbers and whatever you're doing, it's like you can pick your own numbers, you can charge what you want,
Yeah,
you have much more flexibility. So it's
yeah.
like it's like when you first get started, you could let's just get things rolling, get some
Mhm,
numbers in the door. Let's just see how this works. But as soon as your lead flow ups, you can start just doing whatever. You can like you don't have to worry about losing. And I think there's been like there's two situations is like I started it's funny is I started in real estate on accident. I my business part in my medical company, which we'll talk to about a little bit, he was like I'm looking to liquidate these
uh-huh,
this portfolio. He had a
right,
nine
yep, yep.
portfolio, and I didn't know how people were really compensated
Mhm,
for real estate,
mhm,
like and my job was to find a buyer.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so I was like, so I basically said, all right, you want to make this much on it. Anything over this amount is mine, essentially.
Mhm, mhm, mhm,
And so he wanted to net $1 million, and I wanted to make like 150 ideally. But that's like 15%, give or take, right? And on real estate, it's actually really high. But
uh-huh,
I didn't know any better. So that's what I wanted, and that's what I and so I end up I'm getting, the deal is in the process of being closed, and God willing, and thank you. I'm very grateful. This isn't me. This is God. This isn't really, my ability. I'm just rolling with things.
yeah.
And is that, you know, we'll make I'll make at least 100 on the deal.
Mhm. Nice, nice, nice.
And that got me rolling with, all right, well, if I can do this because the medical thing is pretty pitch passive, I
Uh-huh,
probably do maybe 5-10 hours a week at the most. There's just not much for me to do there. Um, and so I'm like, all right, well, I need to do something.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like kind of because the medical is gonna pay a ton of money, and we'll talk about that business, but I'm like I want to get more into real estate, and I'm already kind of starting this journey by finding this buyer that bought this property. So now I have a buyer, and I'm like, I know how to generate leads. Let's generate leads for this buyer, and maybe I'll find other buyers, and then
Mhm,
I'll make money from like these deals, and I'll like lock them up and make whatever I want essentially. And this is the thing, most people would be like, well, let me find a $100,000 house and make $5,000 or $10,000. No, F that. My first deal was $1 million. my next deal is probably going to be 5 million and maybe 10 million, and maybe I'll close $100 million deal this year. I'm eyeing one right now. I'm like, close $100 million deal, make 5-10 million off of it, whatever.
Yeah, yeah. So
And
yeah,
but there's
go ahead. Yeah,
you don't
continue.
have to start from the beginning.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is really interesting. Like when so to understand this,
Hmm.
what how did so you said that it was by accident you started real estate,
Yeah.
right? Did you have any education before about it?
No,
Nothing.
none.
Okay, so how
Well,
like
let's see. I took a Carleton Sheets program in like 2005 to buy single family houses to flip them.
okay,
But
okay.
I didn't know anything
Yeah, yeah,
then of what I know now.
yeah, yeah. You will still like the like
2005.
to literally like what is in my head, like based on what you are saying or what you're sharing, is like the most important skill to learn from the beginning is literally like you need to be good at negotiating. Like sales is so important.
Uh-huh.
And then when you've been flipping houses just because you knew numbers and you probably knew how to sell. So you
I
buy.
never even sold a house.
No.
I mean, no, no, no. I literally in 2005 I bought maybe it was 2003. 2003 bought our first house.
Uh-huh.
Couldn't sell it.
Uh-huh.
Rented it. Ended up losing it. Bought another house before we lost it. Like we lost it in the whole downturn, whatever.
Right, right.
But so we had it rented. Basically, had a business partner on it. And like the first 2-3 years I managed it, said F this, you can have
Nice.
it.
Okay, okay.
And then he just had it for the next whatever. And then the renters like just bounced, and we ended up losing it. The next house, bought it, went was gonna sell it, but then we were like, you know what, I'll rent it. This guy wanted to rent it.
Uh-huh.
Worst experience ever. Had this dude from like Pakistan, like basically he was always getting money from his family or whatever.
Yeah,
Nicest
that
guy,
sounds.
nicest family.
Oh my god. Yeah.
They brought me in, cooked me food, the whole deal. Great people, business wise, of dealing with that situation was terrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
End up losing that house when the market crashed.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So never sold anything.
Yeah. You never saw. Okay,
Not
that's
the
interesting.
houses
Okay.
wise.
Yeah. 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 Okay. And so, do you build like your like? Okay. The question is, so
Hmm.
do you like build your assets like when it comes to business wise, or like having like what Robert Kiyosaki thoughts for his like this type of things? Do you actually do that things or you don't?
So my my suggestion on that is
Mm-hmm.
you need to put the money into yourself as an
Mm-hmm.
investment
Mm-hmm.
to learn skills of some sort,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah. Yep.
Then when you basically run out of money of being able to invest in yourself,
Mm-hmm.
then it's now time to invest in assets because you're always going to get multiple
Mm-hmm.
return on
Mm-hmm.
investing in yourself,
Yep, yep, 100%.
right?
It's the best
So,
investments always. Like
always.
investing into yourself is like that. Yeah, there is no better investment. Like you know, you can make it more like time it as many times like as basically you have all the power over it. Basically, that's what it
Yeah,
is.
well, the crazy thing is like I went from knowing nothing about real estate to not even a year later having conversations with hedge fund managers
Mm-hmm.
and family
Mm-hmm.
office and like all these investors that have been doing this for 30 years and being able to communicate in a way around all of these terms and things and
Yeah.
blah blah blahs all due to AI.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Never, like literally I would have a conversation with somebody and they'd be like, that's I don't get what you're saying here, or
Yeah.
they would say something and I wouldn't know what the hell they were talking about, and I just go to AI and I'd be like, what
Mm.
is he talking about? And then I take that information and then now I can have a conversation about it. Like, is
That's
being
yeah.
able to take information from AI, understand it, and then being able to communicate it in a way like you've known it for your whole life is a skill in its own sense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, like AI is so powerful. Like this is like it's insane. Like the advantage that people has now, um, over what we've been like starting the businesses with is freaking crazy. Like,
But I think the more important skill, AI is super important, trust me. But
mm-hmm,
there's some people that they can get information from AI, but they're
mm-hmm,
not able to take it and then communicate it in a way that they confidently understand it,
mm-hmm,
and and or they are even the other way where they're so risk averse that they wouldn't, even though that they just learned it, they won't use it
mm-hmm,
because they're just afraid that they didn't get it right, or whatever. So they're unwilling to act on what
mm-hmm.
they're learning.
Yeah, yeah. Would you say that is something to it, like from the programming side, like what actually is happening, with the society and so on,
It's a
like people,
limitation. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the limitations, like
It's well, I think it's a people have a brainwashing
hmm
to that education needs to come from authority.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And so therefore it didn't come from authority.
hmm
This information that they're getting from this machine or this thing didn't come from some sort of authority. So therefore, like, I can't trust it, or
hmm
I can't use this information or whatever. And trust me, if you're, it's more important to learn like I'll give you an example. Like when I first started doing numbers for real
hmm
estate deals, didn't really know what it was saying, and it took me a little bit of time to like be able to not fact check it, but like really be able to
yeah,
understand what the hell it was talking about. Like I could spit out, it could spit out information, but it didn't matter. I didn't understand what it was
mhm,
actually telling me. So therefore, it wasn't helpful.
yeah,
And
yeah,
so until I could get it's like it's more important to understand the vocabulary around
hmm
the thing, so then you're able to communicate it, than it is to get the thing.
yeah, yeah. So what is the most, like, where you most use AI the most, basically in your life, or in, anywhere you.
Well, so I have a system where I get real estate deals in. I get them to email me. I have my executive assistant. I have a GBT that with all of my buyers buy boxes. So a buy
hmm
box is
hmm
where a real estate the person is buying real estate or investing in, what they're looking for. And so
hmm
it's programmed with the buyer information and like
hmm
this much cap rate and this much um whatever the information is, these
yeah,
states,
yeah, yeah,
this
yeah,
type of real estate, blah blah blah. And it'll give like a red light, green light situation on multiple things. So he can just plug the information in, and then basically if it's really good, then he puts it in a spreadsheet, and then
hmm
he sends it to one of the buyers, and he messages the seller and says, "Hey, this looks great. We're sending it to our buyer, or
yep,
I think we're gonna send a letter of intent, to purchase it. Just giving you a heads up so that they're in communication."
yeah, yeah. That's
So
really
it's like a
cool.
whole system
Yeah,
that I'm not even really a part of.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah, totally. Like, I'm just curious because, um, the AI is and what it's capable of. It's like, I love AI. I'm like every day working with it and doing stuff like literally for myself or my clients or anything like that, because like it's just so huge advantage in any area of, expertise. Like you can you can use it to just do like things that hasn't been um that usual, or that that effective so fast now. Like it's so crazy how leverage it is.
Yeah, I mean, I sold the $1.4 million real estate portfolio, found a buyer, got all the numbers, did all the things, put in, you know, like learned that whole world, all because you know how many years it would have took me to learn how to
Oh,
do that without
yeah,
AI?
yeah, yeah.
Not even that one. I mean, real estate's very numbers
Hmm.
oriented.
Well, tell me what is not actually number oriented. Like,
Well, this medical business that I learned,
uh-huh.
I basically had to learn it, like I had to build it from scratch.
Right,
So
right.
this is a crazy situation. So my wife gets we ran a coaching business. We helped 200 coaches, marketing, sales, the whole thing. Did that for 7 years or so.
Right.
Decided that we were going to shut it down. Um, she got an offer to be the VP of sales at a really large uh, um, event company,
Mm-hmm.
an education company, like one of the largest or fastest growing in the country.
Mm-hmm.
We moved to Florida, like this part of Florida, specifically for her to work there because they wanted her to be in house. Um, and she hated it. Like literally, like a week in, she hated it. And she's literally like writing in her journal, like, God tell me, like, why am I here? And she kept on seeing like reverb.
Uh-huh.
Don't know what that is. Then she's crying her way to work every day, and all of a sudden she looks up and there was a sign that said Reverb Church. Don't
Mm-hmm.
know. Don't know it. Okay, because she always God always told her where to go church wise.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, "Do you want to come to this church?" I wasn't very I wasn't regularly going to church
Mm-hmm.
really until here. So we go to church, and they have a good process. Is I always look at sales funnels. So you get out of church, you're new to the place. And one of the people that she worked with was going to the church. She introduced me. She's like, "Hey, have you been to the first steps thing?" He brings me over to the first step, introduced me to this guy. He was really cool. It's like, "Have you ever thought about being in a men's group?" No, no, I have not. It's never been an interest to me. Oh, well, we have an awesome men's group. It's da 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 da. I think you should totally come.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, God, like it's like you need to go to that men's group.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Okay. So I decided to go. I'm just myself, just
Yeah, yeah,
straight.
yeah.
The whole thing. It was funny. Everybody laughed because I said they were like, "Oh, our group that we do the support here is in WhatsApp." I'm like, "Oh, I will never check that ever."
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, but I won't be involved in the group. Um, and I don't know, like this guy, he came up to me, he's like, "Man, I really love how you're just like straight about things and like you're just
Mm-hmm.
yourself."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yeah, thank you." And I could just tell he was like stressed out or he was going through something. And I'm like, "Are you okay? Like, is there something?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm just really stressed." He's a doctor or like a chiropractor, and he owned 5 medical offices in New York, and he was getting like basically kicked out by his partners because he was down in Florida and he was really just too trusting, and they basically like kicked him out of the offices. And he was making a lot of money at one point in time, and basically he's getting booted out. So he's like, I would love to just walk away from that. I have an amazing business idea. And so what he used to do is he was a chiro, but then he had a PT. He
Uh-huh.
had a medical office that did like trigger point injection pain management. He had an ACU. He had a massage. He had all these all under one location. And they were rocking, right? He was doing millions
Mm-hmm.
and millions and millions of dollars, 5 locations. You can start doing the math on what that could look like. I think he said that one of those best years was like 20 million net. And so awesome. Well, sorry that didn't work out for you. And he's
Yeah,
like,
let's go.
give me your number. Maybe I'll take you out
Yeah,
and tell you more things one day. And I'm like,
yeah,
yeah, that's cool. I have no interest in medical stuff. I don't. even go to doctors myself. I don't know why you're telling me any of this, but if you need, I'm here for you to talk through and I'm giving coaching about like, boundaries and telling people to fuck off, basically. That's like my coaching, you got to learn how to do that. And so God, is like, you need to call him and ask him more about this medical stuff. My wife's working this. I basically have nothing going on. I'm like burnt out because I'm in a coaching business where I'm basically chasing people down for $7,500 and booking calls. And we did our last event and we got like no clients and it was just terrible. We like, and so I'm like the engine of the coaching. Like my wife like is amazing marketer, but she's, if you know anything about human design, she's a projector, which means is like she needs to show up and people need to come to her. And I'm a manifest generator, and I'm the driving force. And so I had to drive the leads in, then I had to follow up with the leads to come to the event, and then I had to, like, people had to come to the event, and then I had to follow up with them, and then book calls, and it was freaking terrible. So I'm burnt out, don't want to do that anymore. And so I call him and I'm like, tell me about this business. How does it work? He's like, well, I want to take the medical aspect of what we were doing in this office. I want to go to other PT offices and I want to basically inception into their office.
Mm-hmm.
So they have the patient flow, we have the medical services, and then we can pay them to basically rent space or not, like give them a percentage of the revenue, but you can't give percentage of revenue because it's a legal thing in every state, so on and so forth. Okay, break down the numbers to me. He's like, well, if we have a PA that does 100 injections a week, it's $1 million business. Okay, one PA, like a baby doctor, not a doctor, but a physician's assistant in an office, they do 100 injections, it's $1 million business. So if we have 10 of them, it's 10 million? Yes. Okay. Interesting. So if we have 100 of them, it's 100 million? Yes. That's crazy. Okay. That seems to be really easy. Like, we just need to find PT offices. Yeah, but I'm in Florida and I have no idea how to contact these, and we're only licensed in New York.
Yeah.
Well, kind of a marketer. I know how to do this type of stuff. But he's like, do you think you could find PT offices and attract them on the internet to do this? I mean, we just need a couple, right? So yeah, just need a couple. I mean, okay. Let me see what I can do. Start doing some research. All right, this is a LinkedIn play. I've done LinkedIn, but never really like built a brand on there. I just direct marketing, reach out to people, and send them to a website, like whatever. Like it's very basic and dumb. I start reaching out to PTs and connecting. Nobody's really on LinkedIn. They just have a thing. Nobody's actually there. So I'm like, oh, okay. What do I need to do? I need to find the people that it's the upstream and downstream, right? If you look into affiliate marketing or in the have you been? So I saw that you had a .com secrets.
Oh yeah.
Have you been to funnel hacking?
Yeah. I've been in the last one. On the last one.
Okay, you've been the last one. Okay, so there was a girl that taught a strategy there when last time we were, I think when we got our 2 Comma Club, or it might have been the one after that we went to. She was teaching the idea of getting affiliates, but having them integrated into your business. And she was talking about upstream and downstream. It's like people that you can send people to automatically, and then people that can send people to you automatically.
Yeah. So the JV partnership. It's I know who you're talking about. I think I have even her program too.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So that process, right? So I'm like, okay, I need to who services PTs. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to connect with medical billers. I'm going to connect with
Getting into the network, basically,
get into the
to
network,
yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
if freaking PTs aren't on LinkedIn, I need to connect with the people that are like using LinkedIn to
And
market
leverage
their
them,
services.
basically. Yeah,
And
yeah.
I at the time I had no brand on LinkedIn or anything. So I started branding my LinkedIn, AI, how do I brand this, blah blah.
Yeah.
Like what do I need to do? And it told me a couple things like you should create articles, um, and reach out to these people that are these can essentially already connected it. So I I set up my LinkedIn in a way, and I had a girl actually reach out to me, and she was like, "Oh, I love your hook in your profile. Like, tell me more about that." And we got on a
Mhm.
call, and she was super cool. And then she's like, "You know who you need to connect with? Is this Jimmy guy?
Uh-huh.
He's really connected in New York
Uh-huh.
in the PT circle." Come to find out, Jimmy also has a podcast. We'll get to that. So connect with Jimmy. He's like, "Yeah, I'm super connected. Love to do something, whatever." And then come to find out he has a podcast. Come to find out he has a podcast as the number one podcast for PTs in the world. And I got on a call with him. I was like, "Hey, would you be opposed to interviewing me on your podcast?" "Nah, let's jump on. We'll talk about this." Literally the day that this podcast dropped. Now, there's an important thing here. I kept on doing all the actions until this podcast dropped that I was doing that wasn't working. I also did a bunch of cold calling PTs. None of it, there was very little amount of things working. Podcast drops, got a message on LinkedIn. "Hey, saw you on Jimmy's podcast. I know that you guys are only certified in New York, but we're in California. And if you ever get qualified out here or verified, or see, I don't even know the terminology, right? Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
your MD gets licensed in California. I guess that's the terminology.
That's great. Holy
You
smoke,
should
that's
come.
really cool.
You should come out here." And I'm like, "Well, if the patient flow is high enough, it might be worth it." He's like, "Well, we have 9 locations in California.
Wow.
Our
Get
number
out of
one
here.
loc
That's awesome.
our number one location has 3,500 patients a month. Total, we're doing 10,000 patients a month in
Freaking.
California.
Oh my god, that's crazy. Holy smokes.
Um, we also have some in Colorado, and we also have some in Connecticut, and we do have one very, 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 very small one in New York, which is hilarious. Now, if you're trying to play it safe, you would have just tried to like get started in the one in New York
Yeah,
and whatever. I'm like, no, screw that. I don't want to go into one and like potentially fail and like then they don't want to do anything.
yeah.
We're gonna get certified in freaking California with our MD. Come to find out, it was gonna take like 3 to 6 months. So we're like, we're gonna find another MD and we're gonna hire them. Got her going. Got her what all the things that we needed to do with her, and we actually launched last month, very beginning of the month. We're still working out the internal marketing to get the flow going, but we got one in PA. She's doing like 30 a week or so. It was like, and then there was Christmas, and then like so it's just kind of, but the goal is to get her to like 100 120 a week, and then the next one, and then the next one, and the next one, and just keep on. We believe that we could get about 8 out of their locations.
Awesome. This is awesome story, dude. Like, holy smokes. Just because of one, it's like, this is one calling, like one opportunity that God basically gave you to agree on something that you had planned, and you just literally turn up and this huge opportunity and taking an action. This is insane. I love it.
Yeah.
This is awesome. This is awesome. Totally. Holy smokes.
And the same partner with real estate. I was never wanting to get into real estate,
Yeah, no.
and the crazy thing is like there's barely like I'm still working out for what I can possibly do in this business to actually make it work because like I'm not anything medical, so I can't coach. I can only coach on marketing and
Yeah,
sales in the thing, and I can help create campaigns, I
uh,
guess, internally. But as soon as they're up and rolling, it's all system ties, and there's nothing for me to do. I can
yeah.
create, so it's pretty passive, and I own
It's, yeah,
25% of this
yeah.
company, so.
Like, I'm just curious, like when you started on the LinkedIn, like did you have any like have you had any followers or that or like anything like that or
On
connections or anything
LinkedIn,
like? Yeah, yeah, yeah. When you started.
so I co-opted so on that LinkedIn, so I have two LinkedIns, one for real estate, one for so the real estate one has much more followers. There's like 5,000 followers because we got them when we were doing internet marketing and coaching and all that. And it was just I was running a bot that was just basically connecting me to coaches. The
Yeah.
other one was just my original LinkedIn from me being a affiliate marketer in like the 20 years ago or 15 years ago or whatever, right? And so I had to like rebrand it and like make it like basically I'm like put this in the closet and rebrand it for medical.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I just basically I had 500 followers or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. So you just it was from nothing, literally. Like you started completely from zero. Just like when you actually start approaching those people, it was like completely brand new. So it doesn't take huge amount of like people think
No.
that oh my god I have to have influence and so on. No, you have to take the action and just do the freaking thing, right? Like, or do
Hmm.
you have other opinion on that?
You, no, it was helpful to have the like 300 just so it wasn't from zero, but it
Yeah,
wouldn't really matter because I would have just followed a bunch of PTs that would have just got my thing up, and they're accepting. They just don't respond to messages,
yeah,
and so yeah, it was helpful to have a couple, but they could have been friends
yeah.
or something,
It
I
doesn't
guess.
affect it really, but that's
Yeah.
okay. So what was the um you wanted to say something about the podcast actually. So what was the podcast? Yeah, podcast
Uh,
about. Yeah, what we
I
well
mean,
we.
the podcast was
Mhm.
just that's the thing. I didn't know anything about this medical stuff. I'm
Mhm.
like blabbering on about whatever. I'm just answering this dude's questions and I barely kind of knew what I was talking about, but the offer was good enough where he was willing to reach out to me.
That's really
I
cool.
mean, even the way that we were structuring it originally was possibly illegal. Now we worked that out later on, but um, so
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. This is awesome. I love it. I love it so much. Yeah, totally. Like, dude, this is insane story. It's just yeah, it's just amazing to see what is possible when people like really, you know, take the calling and take the action and just do the thing. So it's just amazing. But I want to ask you like when it comes to because I think that you are big on sales and so on like what you can see um what people are like brainwashed or programmed to believe about sales like what is the thing that like most of the people like why there are so many
There's a
where
couple
what,
things.
yeah
Yeah, one, I think I'm gonna go on the theme. I'm gonna keep on going that they need to sell something lower and
uh-huh
then work their way up. My wife, before we were married,
mm-hmm,
was selling $10,000 packages. Um, but that was like her first really
mm-hmm,
thing, right? I think she maybe has sold like $5,000, but she didn't know the
mm-hmm.
difference. She just knew that these people wanted it, and she just had conversations, and they
Yeah,
bought. But the
is
idea
it
that you,
yeah sorry to interrupt
Mhm.
is it I'm just curious because in your opinion is it better to start selling higher ticket
Of
than
course,
lower ticket
yeah,
yeah
totally. It's so much easier to generate leads for somebody selling a $5 million
Mhm.
multifamily unit than selling a $100,000 shit house.
Yeah, yeah. Why is that? Why do you think is that? Why you believe in that is this is it?
I mean, if you, I told my partner, I'm like, I do not want to do I don't want to like, I don't want to look at any properties that I'm gonna make less than $100,000.
Hmm.
There's
So
no
that's the
point. If I'm gonna
mindset
put,
type of thing from your side
it's
also.
it's it's energy, it's time, it's
Mm-hmm.
everything. Like if I'm gonna put all this time and energy into this sale, like especially in this world of like real estate and these different things, it's like if I put a month into and I just made $5,000, I'd be pissed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you might as well put that energy in and make $100,000.
Is it harder to do that type of deal, or is it like?
No, it's the thing is it's the number. I mean, especially if you look at people that are buying things like retail-y,
Huh?
there's like emotions involved. When people
Hmm.
are buying things for a business, it's
Hmm.
just numbers and like putting the offer together that like
Yeah.
hits what they're looking for.
ROI.
It's really just more
Yeah.
like sorting.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just taking these deals, seeing what's good, and then finding the person that wants it. And
Yeah.
then just
You
following
have
up and
to.
pushing things and then solving and
Uh-huh.
then it becomes solving like problems essentially
Hmm.
like that come up.
Yeah. Yeah. This is cool. Yeah. So you're saying basically it's like more about like, they are more the numbers oriented, those people who are more successful with, the numbers has to make sense for them because that's what they looking for, like the ROI on the investment and so on, like if it's
Hmm.
actually in alignment what they criteria are and so on, right?
Yeah, there's no
Hmm.
it's like people aren't getting like emotionally connected to this piece of real estate, right? Like
Yeah, it's
they're
very
looking.
different, right? It's way different than those people who are starting a business or trying to sell some low ticket shit, basically, that
Yeah,
is like all emotions, like like so crazy.
yeah, for sure. And
Scared to invest.
so
Yeah.
you just get to be a problem solver. So it's just
Yeah.
different. It's like I would rather solve a problem with somebody that has $10 million than try to convince some asshole to buy $1,000 course.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. 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 All right. So back to the sales. So
hmm. Oh yeah, so
uh
limiting beliefs. So
yeah.
I think the thing that people get mixed up is that they need to talk a bunch and convince somebody to buy something. If you're talking a bunch on a call, like you're not, you're like nobody like
Why is that? Why is that? Can you yeah.
it's the lamest like I hate like cliches, but this one is so real. And my business partner says it all the time and I want to like puke every time he says it, but it's so true. It's like the what is it? I'm trying to work out the it's like somebody convinced of their like to change their opinion is of the same opinion. Like if you know the like and I can't even say it. Like my body like won't allow me to
Yeah. Yeah.
say the thing. Uh, But it's so true. It's like if you try to like change somebody's mind or force them to, it's like really like the book that's changed my life and in it's just really been recent is Split the Difference or Don't Split the
Yeah.
Difference
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
is
Yeah.
Chris Voss. And
Mm-hmm.
so he basically says like they have to convince themselves.
Uh-huh.
And if you try to force an offer and to get a yes, get somebody to say yes, especially for bigger things and things that are really important, people will just weasel out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like they'll say yes to get rid of you.
Yep. Yep.
If
Yep.
you've ever had somebody say yes, it's so much better to get somebody to say no to a in a direction that you want them to go. Like today I'll show you like there's a couple texts that I sent out today that are just uh,
Yeah. All good.
I don't even know what that's
No,
about.
yeah, yeah, totally. You take your time.
Yeah,
It's
yeah. So I'm just
you know.
okay. Um, so yeah. So I said, I talked to my business partner. He's ready to go. He just wants you, or like, are you opposed? So this is the buyer. I'm talking to the buyer. Like,
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
you opposed to getting the person that creates the paperwork and having a conversation with the lawyer, his lawyer, my seller? Are you opposed to like getting this paperwork or getting her to send him the paperwork and to have this conversation? And every time he responds, no, no, not opposed. No, not at all. It's like they have to like they like it's like it's like a motion that they have. They're like no, like they want to say no. They're like excited to say no. And
Is it, in your opinion, to get? But yeah, well, you said it basically, that it's better to get no than yes, because then like the no is where the sales actually happens, right? It starts happening basically.
yeah, well, if you get a no, then it's much clearer where they are and what they're again what they don't want,
Yeah, yeah.
because then you can give them what they do want.
That's really cool. Yeah, yeah.
It's really about fitting the right shape in the right hole. Like, would you like a circle? No, I would not like a circle. Okay, then we need a triangle.
Yeah, yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, this
It's
is.
if you, and when you can think of like when you can think and yeah, and who is most of your audience, so I can kind of make this even more.
Well, from this audience, usually begin like people who are at the beginning of entrepreneurship, or they just literally like trying to figure out what like how they can. Yeah, let's say beginners. That's gonna be the best. That's easiest.
Okay,
Yeah.
so if you're, say you have a suite of products, and one is like $100,000, and you go through the whole thing, and you're like, well, we have a couple of options, but I'm gonna throw out our flagship $100,000 offer. It does this, this, and this, and this is what this is what you get, and it'll solve all these problems. It does definitely solve all your problems. And they're like, ooh, like they're like gasp, right? Like you, and they're like, okay, so that's a no, cool. So we know that you don't want the $100,000 thing. That's totally cool. Now, if we took away this and we took away this, it would be 30,000. And then you can work through that and like and maybe they're open to that, or maybe they're not. Maybe that's a gas too. But you've now took those opportunities to throw those out there, and then you're like, well, if I take away any calls and I take away out any of this, maybe we could do this program for 10, not this program, but it'd be like something like it still solves this problem, it just does it in a less hands-on manner, and we could do it for $10,000.
Yeah, yeah.
And you frame them way up here of like $100,000, so you got that like out of their system, and then you're taking away the things maybe they don't need, or that are like the luxury aspect of the program that makes anything that makes it more expensive. And then you're basically, no, it's not a circle. We got to do a triangle. No, you don't want a triangle. Guess we got to do a square.
Yeah. So you basically like what you're saying is like it's better to give them first the full package, like show them the full package, and then like start taking off those pieces literally like they wouldn't necessarily need, but it still would solve the issue, right?
Yeah, because you'd be an asshole if you pitched or you just pitched a $10,000 thing and they really had the resource, or they wanted the 100,000.
That makes sense. And so other than the Split the Difference, is there any other book that you would, or any practices that you would suggest to somebody who's starting out?
It's just really getting clear on what they like. I feel like people try to sell without knowing what they want, and that is the biggest mistake. So it's like you need to be getting clear on their vision of what they're wanting out of whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
Like and then so this is my framework for sales that we kind of created. So it's vision, what's your goals? And then you break it down into like your pillars like of your
Mm-hmm.
business, like if you have pillars. Ours, what we really used, it was actually more granular than pillars, but how I would always teach it was pillars. So we do vision of like their life, like their where would they like to be. So how much would you like to make on a monthly basis was all of our goal. So they'd be like, okay, I want to make $100,000. Great. Tell me what that life would look like. What would you allow you to do that you couldn't do now? Getting really clear on that. Great. How will that feel? Get them into
Mm-hmm.
the feeling of it.
Mm-hmm.
Then tell me about how would you like your marketing to look? You'd
Mm-hmm.
like okay, great. How would you like your marketing to feel? Great. How many hours would you like to be working in your coaching business? Great. Okay. 30 hours or whatever. Great. How many clients would you like to have? Great. Tell me about a program. Like ideally, if you create that amazing program, what would that look like? Awesome. Then you recap all of it, being
Uh-huh.
able to recreate them and give it back to them because then they know that people
They
it's
just
it's
told you basically like they just told you what you're supposed to tell them and how you're supposed to sell them, what you're supposed to sell them on, right? Like they are like the most of the time they should be speaking probably, right? Because that's why you're asking the questions, so you figure out what is going on. So yeah, this is like this is really cool because I use very similar strategy like what you just said, and I think this is the strategy that actually works the one of the best way
yeah,
because that way you can yeah, it's just so powerful. But guys, like use it for good, not for bad.
yeah,
Like you can
right.
literally this
But
is
but
so
so the
powerful.
most important thing is to recap it back to them because that
Yeah,
says that you're actually listening and you're not just like they're not talking for no reason.
yeah, yeah.
Then you get into what are they doing now? What
Mm-hmm.
have they attempted? And that gets into some of the pain points. I feel like I could probably could do better. Not that I'm doing this on a regular basis anymore, but
Yeah, yeah.
when I could do better at really hitting into those pain points of what they've done. I was never really great at that. Then then it's recapping back and then getting that into what do you feel like is in the way of you just going and doing this yourself? And I go and granularly, right? Going and getting to that 100K, getting your marketing to be like that, um, getting to those hours. So getting the money up, but the time down,
Yep.
getting those clients, creating the program, and then what is it costing you to
Mm-hmm.
not figure this out? What is the impact of you not doing that? So those are good questions to get really into
Yeah.
the consequences of not doing something.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. This is powerful because like you know, there would be lots of people who charge for this. Like I'm telling you right now, like there are like this what you just shared is so powerful, and I paid lots of money to actually figure it out because like we are self-made entrepreneurs. Like literally, I have come from nothing. I had little, and um, can say that I have more than enough, but it's still like I'm trying to make this open and like trying to see what's the possibilities. Um, yeah, so I would like to ask you also, like, the way that the whole world is set it up right now, like, with the schooling system and everything, um, and like how people are basically brainwashed. And you said you have family, right? You have kids already?
Yeah, I have a 5-year-old that we homeschool.
Are you homeschooling? Okay, so why are you doing it? What is the reason for that? And like what you can see that is fucked up there.
Yeah, I mean, why would I let the people that are $36 trillion in debt and
Yeah.
protecting pedophiles and fraud up the ass and all of this stuff teach my kid? Why would you do that? That's just asking for like
Crazy. Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
and your governments know better, and
No,
whoever
it,
is sitting here, your government sucks too. So why would you
yeah.
why would you want these assholes to be teaching your kids?
So that's one of the reasons why you homeschooling.
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And
So yeah.
so we do a combination of like world schooling, and we have an app that we were kind of homeschooling even before she was in technically school, like would have been in school. She could do math when she was like 4, right? So like
Yeah,
there's a lot of good stuff out there. So
yeah,
number
yeah,
blocks is great.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So and so what? How are you preparing your kid actually, and or your like your family for for the future that may come? Like literally, like you can see the debt is bigger and bigger all the time. Like it's crazy. Money is not money. Like literally from 1970 whatever is that is nothing to back it up, right? It's just literally debt, and
Hmm.
so like it's insane time to to live in, and just from the perspective that there may not be money in the future, or maybe they will. I don't know, this is crazy. Like what is gonna happen when the economic crashes? What's
Yeah,
gonna happen?
so
Yeah.
I think ultimately right now I'm in the process of, yes, I know money is doing whatever it's doing, but I think if you can not avoid use tax strategies that are legal, that aren't going to get you put in jail, but strategies where you can make money, like if you get paid passively and you use a Roth IRA and you get paid into a Roth, you can actually avoid taxes, right? And then you can take those money and then they can grow tax free. But now you're buying assets. If you're buying assets in the Roth, then it can compound and grow tax free, right?
Yep.
So if you're doing these things and then using, you can use trust and again, I'm not a tax lawyer or anything, but go look into the stuff yourself. But it's like being able to right now is my time to earn passive stakes in businesses and have that feed my raw.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
then and then because it's like I think a lot of people they talk about um Robert Kiyosaki talks about buying assets and in being an investor and buying cash
Yep.
flowing things. That's all great. Um, but they don't talk about how do you get the money to buy those assets, right? You got to still
Mm-hmm.
be able to pay for your life and you got to be able to do all these things. So it's like, what if you like? I'll give you an example with this medical company. Half of my company is in my LLC. Half is owned by my Roth. So now half of that money is going to go tax free into this over here, and it is like the passive ownership of this company.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the other half is going to go into my LLC, which is going to be taxed less than me personally, but it's still going to be, taxed as an LLC.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah,
Which
that's
there's
all.
obviously ways that you can do things to like, but there's going to be a certain point in time where it's just making so much money that I'm not going to be able to avoid taxes anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And so the next management company we do, I'm going to have a higher percentage owned by my Roth. And so then it's more passive.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so then you could start earning your way into passive streams.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like, how can you, and this is like probably something that you want to consult a tax attorney or whatever, but like, how can you, like if you have active income, technically speaking, it can't be passive, but how
Mm-hmm.
can you actually split your money out and
Mm-hmm.
be able to do things where you're earning like stake in a company
Mm-hmm.
that can be put into a Roth or in different ways where
Yep.
you're not taxed on those.
Yeah. Yeah. So is there a way that you like teaching your kids even like about those type of things, or like uh,
I mean, she's 5,
oh,
so
she's
we're
5,
not
yeah, so
quite to that.
are you planning to
Oh,
do
of
something like that?
course.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, she's learning.
Even sales
She was learning
and stuff.
negotiation on a daily basis where you get to go back and forth
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it's like a lot of parents like they teach their kid that I'm the boss and you can't tell me, like this and like it's all this stuff, but like I wanna like how can I influence her, and then like I want to see how she is going to try to convince me, or and like give her tips of like how can she be more effective in getting what she wants.
Yeah, yeah, that's really cool. That's really cool. I love it because this is really important. Like, people, I wish to have this type of, parents that actually would something do something like that. Is, prepare you for the real world, not just like, letting you to like not letting like not leading you anywhere. Pretty much, it was like, not well, they've been leading me to be a good employee. That's for sure. Like they taught me like lots of really valuable things, but of course, like there, I would wish to have like the business background. I wouldn't have to, deal with that all things by myself, because like literally, it was like I had to rebuild my life myself. Um, right from the beginning, like when I right from the beginning, when I finished school and moved to England, I had to rebuild my like literally the way that I operate completely, because it was I had, you
Yeah.
probably went through that same thing. So it was,
Yeah, it's weird. I went through a weird it's like I told you I got into real estate.
yeah.
I really went from like not almost not graduating to basically flunking out of college and like having that all. And then at that time, like slightly after that, I got it like a small inheritance, like $20,000 or whatever. And so I started like looking into real estate, but like single family and like buying and renting or buying and selling. And so I put money into that, and I put money into rehabbing a house. But I didn't know what I didn't really know what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
I bought the house. It's like I'm just kind of, but oh, and my dad died too. So dad dies first day. So this is like the sequence of events. Dad dies first day of senior year of high school. I basically went on like this like rebellious like grief cycle of death for my dad, right? And that caused me not to graduate really on time, because I'm like skipping school. I'm like not doing, I'm just like
Mm-hmm.
partying all the time. I'm doing all this stuff. But it like put me down this like rebellious path to not really do the normal thing. And I think it just kept going down into the real estate world, you know, door to door. That was just weird. Like, who would do that? Like, that
Yeah,
seems weird.
you mean finding yourself that time, like
Yeah.
figuring out what the hell I'm like, why I'm here in this world and so on, like what is going on,
Yeah.
what is the purpose, what I want to what I really like to do. Yeah, and it's like I think everybody will do through that period of life. Like anybody's gonna do that. Like we'll have to go through that. And yeah, but look, like what you become, that's the point. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
would be lots of things that would you would probably change. I would, for example, but you have no power over it. You know what I mean? Like
Oh, totally. Yeah, no, I would never want to change things. I just know that
if you would do
um
something a little bit different, it would become yeah. But this is what
butterfly
I mean.
effect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Either way, yeah. So what is like? I have a last question for you, and I want to like, what is the reason why you doing it? Actually, like, what is the why for you to drive? Like, what drives you so much?
It's funny. I lost my drive,
Did you?
right? Kind of. Yeah. So it's like I when we shut down the coaching business, had no like like I was always driven to like um I don't know, be this successful coach and like be like this like this person to be looked up to, and like this figure and like status and like success, and like I wanted like this $100 million coaching business, and like this I wanted we got our 2 Comma Club, that was cool, but I wanted to speak on stage at ClickFunnels and do all these things. It's whatever. But what I realized is that like I don't know, I went through a really weird thing because it's like we shut down the coaching business. That was like my identity. And it was like
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't working at the end, right? And my wife's like got a job. I'm like, this is so weird. And then she's like unhappy, and there was like issues there, and that caused me to go on this like crazy like self like I had to get rid of like like I was basically driven from like a fear of like losing my family and all this stuff, and I had to like go
Mm-hmm.
through all of that, and that was like I had to basically get rid of like any fear of like loss around my life, my family, my whole things. And like at that point I was able to like it's like I was able to come back, but not from like a like I need to do this for pride, but like it was like what one it's like it's exciting to just do big deals and like create something in my gifts and in what's exciting. And like God gave me these skills, so like why wouldn't I use them, and why wouldn't I just do something ridiculously big with these?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's like why wouldn't I honor like it's like if you're not going as big as possible, like are you like you are giving gifts like like from God, like why like it's like you're not honoring God by not using like really doing something big.
Correct. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being here. It
You're
was
welcome.
a pleasure to meet you, have a conversation with you. It was amazing. You are amazing. Um, for everybody who's listening, we'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching.